Bada bada bang, bada bada boo. We are streaming, more writing a. Yeah, I don't think I could. I, I, I should stick to writing, not trying to improvise songs on the spot. Anyway, I need to go and get all the notificaciones. Twitter. What? Twitter. Blue skies up above. Blue skies up above us. Yep, there we are. YouTube. YouTube? What tube? Me tube. Okay. What are we writing? Hi, Roku. We're writing more Doctor Who. And if we just find this thing. Now we get to title page. Doctor Who, a Lurman in Soho. Yeah. Yes, the introduction story for this companion. Okay, I think that's everywhere. Herky derky, we can finally get started. Anywho, so we have done the singy. Okay, basically, this is the first story in a Doctor Who fan audio drama series thingamy jingamy do. Um, I'm doing for a fan production. It gives the 15th Doctor, as played brilliantly by Ncuti Gatwa, a new companion in the form of this guy, Max Catherman. And yeah, this is episode 1. This is the introduction story. I feel like I'm sort of falling over my own tongue here, just trying to explain this story. Yeah. So we've got the introduction here. The cold open's a bit longer than most are, at 6 pages, but yes, basically Max meets the previous Doctor, says that he'll pre-order a book for her, and then we cut to the titles. There's also a bit where he gets jump scared by the titular Lurman, but oh well. By the way, a Lurman is very much a very humanoid-looking alien. Let me just... Lurman, Doctor Who. That's a Lurman. Those are Lurmans. Indeed. Uh-huh. 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 Those are Lurmans. They appeared in Doctor Who, Carnival of Monsters, which is a story. There's not really much about them. I just thought they'd be funny. Oh, look at them. They look dumb. They look silly. It's fun. Anyway. Yeah. There. Remove. There we are. Okay. So. Yeah. That's the thing. Close cap cup when I accidentally opened it. Yeah, so we are on to scene 4. Ext. Soho. A month later. Next, Soho, day, a month later. FX, because that means effects, apparently. I don't quite know. Anyway, this is going to be interesting. This is my first time writing the 15th Doctor. I've got his theme tune stuck in my head, but I don't really know how to write him. Apart from his bit of a stereotype. That's the thing. I can probably figure out how to write him. I just can't figure out how to write him without coming across as homophobic. Anyway, moving on. A typical Soho affair. The streets are crowded. There's a quiet hubbub. And then, out of nowhere, the TARDIS wheezes into existence. And the 15th Doctor bursts out through its doors, all swagger and energy. Okay, the Doctor. What's a fun place that's nothing like Soho in the 80s? I'm just trying to think. Vegas? What was Vegas in the 60s like? Absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine the Doctor's theme just bursting into power. Actually, I'm going to put that down. That's a good point. Note. Actually, ideally with his theme tune bursting into life as he does so. Vegas, baby! Okay, who's in Vegas in the 60s? Who was in Vegas in the 60s? Okay. Rat Pack. Let's meet the Rat Pack. Why not? Rat Pack, here we come. He stops. Realizes. Oops. This. Oh, this isn't Vegas. 60s. Further realizing this isn't Vegas. No. There we are. Huh. Okay. Anyway, hi Bill. How you doing, buddy? This isn't Vegas. Huh. See, now I need to figure out a way to transition from this to... I'm doing okay, thanks. I'm glad you are too. I'm just trying to think of a way to have it so that somehow this transitions from him talking about Vegas. Hi, Lyric! Hiya, buddy! We're doing Doctor Who fan fiction today, Lyric. How you doing? 15th. the most recent fellow, apart from Billy Piper, because we don't know a thing about her yet. Don't think we even know if she's actually the Doctor or not. So yes, not sure if you've seen her before, but it's the thing that I'm doing. Where yeah, Max Catherman, this guy, he's so cool. Also, it's occurred to me I want to make it so that I want to make it so he was born in 1963, and this is set in 84, so he has to be 21. Still not the youngest of 15 companions, to be fair, but... Oh, hi, Twisty. How you doing? We're writing some Doctor Who fan fiction right now. I hope you are enjoying. Yeah, the question mark is something. I'm okay. You know, today was actually fairly cool. It wasn't too warm, which is a relief, because recently it's been an absolute heat wave over here. But today it was refreshingly cold for a while. Then it heated up quite dramatically, but for a while I was okay. And to be fair, when it was heating up, I had dared to wear a vest and a scarf. Like it's my work vest. It's like one of those what's the word? Glow in the dark sort of things. 38 degrees. Oh, 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 oh dear. Pretty sure it's still. Well, I always wear the scarf. It's a nice scarf. Because Roku, A, we're not used to these temperatures. B, frankly, our buildings aren't either, so we don't have air conditioning anywhere. And C, frankly, British heat is horrible. Because we're on an island as well, so it's damp heat, so it clings to you. It makes you sweat, and that's ugh, it's grim. Ugh, it's humid, nasty, and you can't escape it because again, AC non-existent. We just sort of have we have brick buildings. Don't know if you can hear me knocking on the brick wall behind me, well, in front of me, technically. Ow. How long is the scarf? Well, I'm about 6'2", and it goes down to about my probably about probably about my calves. So about just above my ankles, I think. Yeah. Anyway, horrible, horrible, horrible. But yeah. Earlier in the day, though, it was quite nice. We don't have AC because, well, again, buildings over here, we're not used to it. We're used to a fairly cold climate. I mean, we're as far north where I am as Denmark, and that's got a bit of a reputation for being a bit cooler, I think. And I think we're about the same height as the Baltic states as well. It's the only reason that, and Scotland, just a bit higher up, is always very cold normally. The only reason that England isn't the same, and England and Wales, is because we have the Mexican Gulf, I think. And also, a lot of our buildings are just older, so it's harder to refit them, I think. But over here, because it's meant to be cold most of the year, we have buildings that are designed to keep the heat in, not try to expel it like American buildings. Yeah, yeah, Europe as well, same sort of situation. Yeah. Anywho, back to this. Okay, how about um, a random dude walks up to the doctor. Dude. No, he has to have a. Can I just call him dude? Lots of planets have a north. Yeah. Good reference, Lyric. Well done. Get one of those AC window units. They do wonders. AC window units. Window unit. Oh, those things. They are ugly. Oh. I'm sure they're good, but. Anyway. Yeah, so. That's a good trick, that. Thank you. They are ugly. They're not pretty. Yeah. No, this is a bit too blunt. This is a bit too blunt. Okay, Twisty, you're clever. I need to think of a way to just putting you on the spot here. I'm trying to think of a way in this story where we can transition from the Doctor talking about Vegas to him hearing that recently a meet a weird rock thing crashed into the street, and yeah, that's the whole thing, really. Uh, he's in the car and hears it over the radio. Yeah, he's not going to be in a car. Is the issue? Yeah, yeah, possibly with the radio. It's just ah. Um. Hmm. Oh, I just had a funny idea. I could put Mrs. Flood in this. Yeah, that could be funny. A person, where's he at right now? He is in a street in Soho, London, at the moment, and he doesn't have a phone, I'm afraid. Also, it's the 1980s, so phones aren't quite as common. Two random people talk about it? Yeah, that could work. I think I've had an idea. Mrs. Flood. Uh, Batty old newspaper. What's the term for a newspaper seller? Newspaper seller. Name. News vendor calls out from Mrs. Flood. Yeah, why not? I mean, to be fair, this is set in between series 14 and 15, so she would just be popping up randomly, I think. Actually, this... That failed. How do I... I'm just gonna... Okay. Yeah. Mrs. Flood. And now I need to add her to the list of caricatures. She, her. Okay. That's a good trick, love. Love? Love? No, she's not. That's a good trick, love. With a pantomime level Cockney accent. Yeah, that's the stuff. Ah, 80s magicians. Famous UK. I'm sure there's a long list of these people. Did he do special effects? Wayne Dobson. Do 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 do. Wayne Dobson. Special effects? Uh, what type of magic did Wayne Dobson do? Patch, what's your typing speed? Depends how closely. It depends kind of what style, what I'm writing, really. Uh, Yeah, you know what? Put Wayne Dobson to shame, that. The Doctor laughs. Mrs. Flood. And see, it makes more sense that she'd bring this up, because she's obviously trying to... I don't know. It feels like something Mrs. Flood would do more than just a random guy. Anyway, typing speed. Well, depends how closely I'm paying attention to what I'm writing, I guess. Like, this bit here, how quickly was that to write? Pretty quick, a couple seconds. But if I'm writing it really badly, then it will take about a second. If I'm very careful, it will take lots longer. Anywho, I mean, we managed to write like 6, 7-ish pages, if you're including this stuff. Okay, let's just say that's an extra page altogether. So about 7 pages in an hour, whilst I was also talking to people quite a lot. So make of that what you will, I guess. Did you do that spaceship? No. That. Did you do that? Meteor thing too? No, I. The serious. Wait, what meteor thing? I know there's one. Ooh, that's interesting. And to be fair, at this angle, it's also awkward because I'm having to sort of wrap my right hand around my microphone. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they didn't really interact in Series 15. I imagine he's probably sort of sort of shriveled up and sort of hunched over. And also Time Lords. See now this thing where they can sort of hide from each other quite effectively, like psychically or whatever. Oh yeah, spoiler alert for something that came out like a month ago. Which is Floods the Rani. Woohoo! Anyway, big explosion. And Dan. What? The streets in Soho. Let's go. In Soho, London. Okay. Can I just get like a map? A map of Soho. Map of Soho. Let's see. Hopkins Street? Mayhaps? Eh? Hopkins Street has vanished. Yeah. Yeah. Street view. I want to Street view. There we are. Okay, yep. Hopkins Street. I'm dumb. She wouldn't refer to it as that. Okay. Hopkins Street is next to Broadwick. Broadwick Street. Just over a month ago. Is that not you, love? Hi, you have returned. Hello, Lyric. You have indeed returned as... We put Mrs. Flood in the story, because why not? course, now we have to make it so Mrs. Flood addresses the audience. But how do we do this when it's an audio drama? Actually, the doctor bolts off, tearing through the crowd and knocking a few disgruntled people over. Where does Mrs. Flood? Partly just for the stream, partly also because I went to Big Finish Day recently. It's basically where they do a professional audio drama bunch, and I was at a Q&A with a bunch of the writers, and someone asked the standard, very stereotypical question of, "Have you got any tips for writing stuff?" And they said to read the lines out loud as you're writing them to make sure they sound right. The voices are partly to do with that, partly so I can get some acting experience, and also partly for the stream. You guys seem to like it when I do funny voices, so why not do more, right? To the audience. Make it hard. He doesn't make it hard, does he? See you around, my sweets. Yeah. I have actually done some acting work, some voice acting stuff. Not much, and it's not really exciting bits I've done. I've played a dodgy businessman and a hawker, I think he was called. He was selling some sort of food. Yay! See you around, my sweets. She giggles and see, it's in situations like this where my writing speed just plummets because I'll get stuck on one little spelling mistake and spend ages trying to fix it. With a rustle of newspapers, she gets up and walks off. Cut to. Ext Soho. Russell? Ain't no way. Russell T. Davies. Ext Soho. What's the street? Broadwick Street. Through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff. What? What does that mean? Day. FX. The doctor rushes in. Down the street. Sonic buzzing away as he scans for... I know the reference I'm trying to make, but I can't remember the name. I mostly just talked about the various extremely middle-class BBC television shows I like watching. Like Call the Midwife and Waterloo Road. Waterloo Road's not actually that middle class. It's about a working class school, but various BBC shows I found entertaining. Like, it wasn't much, honestly. And I learned that Budep's actually quite a big sci-fi fan. Yeah. So I may have to kidnap him for some sort of Doctor Who related shenaniganery in the future. Yeah. Apparently he's been a big fan of sci-fi in the past, but he's always been worried about watching Doctor Who in case he got obsessed. I have no idea. How about you ask him? How about you ask him? He's more your friend than mine. Yeah. um, it does. It does. Hold on, if I go to TARDIS.wiki, the Vault of Secrets. Beta particles. That's it. Under his breath, panting. Oh. Yeah, it does consume you slightly. I just finished watching the Seventh Doctor's era from start to finish. Oh, that's a good era. That is genuinely such a good. Like 3 series, maybe only one episode that I thought was actively underwhelming. The rest were great. Yeah, I didn't. I very much did not care for his for time in Durrani, but the rest of the stories, oh, amazing. All for different reasons as well. Yeah, the Mel stuff was great because it was sort of some of it leaned into campy comedy, but also was willing to get quite dark and serious at times. Like when they blow up the bus, that was messed up. I loved that. And with Ace, there's a lot of experimental elements, and there's also some really just strong, heavy sci-fi, and there's a lot of personal stuff in it as well, which you don't often see in Classic Who, and you can see how it influenced the modern stuff. Remembrance of the Daleks, that is a good story. I love that one. And the same guy then went and wrote Battlefield, which is another favourite of mine. The final appearance of the Brigadier in Doctor Who, the television series. Never appeared in it again. He appeared in a Sarah Jane Adventure story, which he might be coming up to, but never in the show itself. And he passed away, which is sad. Yeah, he came back in Sarah Jane Adventures, but he never came back in the actual show after Battlefield. To be fair, pretty solid send off. That's a good story itself. It's Doctor Who meets Merlin. And Jean Marsh plays a villain. Jean Marsh is amazing. Yeah, rip the Brigadier. Rip Nicholas Courtney, honestly. He was great. Anywho. Beta particles, beta particles, beta particles. Ba-ding! Sonic has picked up the beta particles. Aha! And there's a trail too. Realizing. Very many, yeah, plenty of references. It's funny because the only character who's met more doctors than, the active villains and, yeah, just the active villains. The only character that has met the Doctor who isn't a villain and has met more than the Brigadier is Kate. Because the Brigadier met 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7, at least in the main show. He's also met 6 in the Big Finish stuff. Whilst Kate has met 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. No, they're on equal foot. And War. And 10. Yeah, there's quite a few. There's 7 versus 5. Obviously, in the Big Finish stuff, then it gets a bit more wobbly, but Anywho, something escaped. And it went. He follows the buzzing Sonic down into. What was the name of the street? Have I got the map still open? I do, I do. Lexington, Inge, Ingestra, Hopkins Street. Okay. River met 3 in the main show. Yeah, that's a pretty good number. And in the audio dramas, she has also met 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I mean, granted, 1 she only met very briefly, but that's. You can list the ones off that she hasn't met more easily. It's ridiculous. Uh, anyway, because Big Finish had spent a while with her meeting a different doctor in every box set of her adventures, so bumped into quite a few of them. Okay. Technically, yes. Yeah, that is true. Okay, which scene are we on to? 6. Day. Ding ding. Doctor enters the name of the doctor. Yeah, yeah. The doctor enters the shop. Muttered. Have I been here before? Yeah, go and do that. We need to get ready for various things that may or may not be happening in the near to distant future to do with Minecraft Bedrock. Woohoo! Well, one thing. You can probably guess what it is. Anyway. Rob. Is Rob in the chat? I hope so. We love to see it if Rob Sferratu is watching. What's the story about? The companion, whose name I can definitely remember, Max, the future companion, aka Max, is looking after Rob Sferratu, a good friend of mine, who is also writing in this. How can I see who's watching? Sure, there's a way. No, never mind. There does not seem to be a way. Anyway, yeah, he watched the other stream, so I was just wondering if he was also maybe here. I just need someone to back me up because I'm not sure I'm writing 15 very well. The law. I'm in two minds because on one hand I could go proper anti-authoritarian and have UNIT or some sort of government body be the villain trying to kidnap this poor Lurman fella, or I could go slightly more comedic and have it be his old I suppose business colleagues who sent him down here. Maybe I could do both. Did you see Dutch? Yes, he is Dutch. He is Anglo-Dutch. Second generation. Also many other generations. Yeah. On one side of the family, he's descended from people who fled the Dutch Inquisition. On the other side, he is descended from just a lady who fled from a grandma who fled the Nazis. All right, you're going to sleep. I walked 2 kilometers on 2 hours of sleep. Oh dear God! Yes, go to sleep, Roku. Oh no. Oh good God. Okay. A lady walks past him and leaves the shop. Ding ding. I have to put ding ding every time someone walks out. Every time. Okay, it's just Max. Okie dokie. Okay, Lyric. You've watched the 15th Doctor's era. Am I writing Doctor Who to sound like Doctor Who number 15? No, that's the point. I suppose you've mostly just been doing back to basics recently. Um, I can kind of see him saying some of this stuff. I don't know. What do you think? Bye, Mrs. Plowman. Okay, next. I suppose the main issue is you haven't really had much reason to play on Bedrock recently, apart from Skycast, if I'm allowed to. Sorry, should I not have mentioned that? Just occurred to me, maybe I'm spoiling something there. Um, Anywho, yeah, so. Uh, okay, cool, thank you. The Doctor gasps and rushes over to Max. Uh. Happy Ghosts. Yes. Happy Ghost and Skyblock. Double yes. That'll be horrifying. That'll be very interesting to see how people use those. I think is the correct term. It's you. It's it's yes, she did. Yes, she did, which is why fingers rapidly. So like how you sometimes do when you're trying to think of something like what is it? Max. Max Catterman. Hello? Okay, there's this joke I've kind of wanted to add into this, and I'm not sure if I should. So Soho, I haven't watched it yet. Sorry. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of that YouTuber because he's made a habit recently of sort of being quite rude about the 13th Doctor's era, which I'm always a bit defensive about, but also, well, he's just he makes it feel a bit personal, you know. It feels a bit snide. Anyway, so the joke is because because obviously the Doctor was a woman when Max last met them. He thinks that now the Doctor has rocked back up. Bear in mind, Max does not know that the Doctor is an alien Time Lord who can change their appearance. So he thinks that the Doctor has transitioned. So he's obviously very supportive of this, although he's a bit in two minds about the fact that for some reason the Doctor's now decided to also change race, which he's a bit less sure if that's quite as okay. Yeah, pretty sure the jury's still out on that, as far as I understand it. Um, but yeah, he spends most of the thing thinking that the Doctor's trans, and the Doctor doesn't realize he thinks this. That's the joke. I don't know if it's appropriate or not, though. So, can anyone give me an idea? Is that good or bad? I don't know. Ah. Um. Max. Maxie, baby. Honey. Do you have my book yet? Yeah, the thing is, in the nicest way possible lyric, I don't know if either of us really has the authority to decide that as the thing, because as far as I know, we're both cisgender, and like, it feels like something you should probably consult a trans person on. uh, your book. Hold on, I need to go and find the title. I don't know what it's called. There it is. Dimensionality and metaphysics in action in the third dimension. Love that title. Remember? But that was ordered by realizing. Kinda. Oh. Oh. Not hostile, though. So you're the doctor, baby? What do you think? He steps back and twirls around in his big leather coat. I think it's. Hold on. What's the coat? Doctor Long Coat. Yeah. So decent image of this coat. There we are. Okay. I'm thinking. Yeah, sorry. This coat. Why is it always so small? That one. What do you think? That's a nice coat? I like that coat. Anyway, I can't do that. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a nice coat. So, we're going to use that one. Um, do we think he'll knock a book or two over? Um, no, this doctor's not clumsy. This thing. He's not socially awkward, which is my main criticism for him, to be honest. I don't know. Just typed in the Minecraft chat thinking you'd see it. Afraid not. Unfortunately, I can only interact with you through the power of Twitch at the moment. Yeah, so that also somehow ends up no. Yeah, no, yeah. Um Genuine and warm. You look great. Because thing with Max is he is from the 80s. He is cisgender and he's only recently moved to London. Because he's not a London kid. He's not used to the flashy, dashing scene of Soho's Hyde scene. Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of a confusion for me as well. In That's Life, I genuinely forgot that you can't toggle. I've gotten too used to it, honestly. So I'm gonna say, and obviously you should never say this to a trans person. It is as I understand it, it's one of those things where it sounds nice, but it's kinda maybe it's not something you should probably say in front of them. Did you find out who did the? Oh no, I know precisely who did the creaking prank. I know precisely who did it. I will wreak havoc on them soon. Um, if you hadn't told me, I would have never guessed that you were. Oh, I was trying to keep it a surprise lyric, but okay, thanks a lot. I'm being modest, Maxie. I don't look great. I look gorgeous. Okay. Just trying to think how. Can't wait for. I never know. Might have a prank war. Could be fun. Um, it is fun. I'm liking it a lot. Anyway, did the Doctor refer to themselves as Doctor Smith originally? Um. No, just the Doctor. Doctor. I managed to get it. Yeah. Let me just. I changed my mind. You're not tired. No, Roku, go to sleep. 2 hours and then 2 hours. Then what was it? 2 hours of walking after that. You need sleep. Go to bed immediately. All right? Sleep. I apologize for any headphones users out there. I imagine that was painful to hear. There comes sleep, sleeps. It's like chug. Sleep, 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 sleep. No, as he will encourage Roku. No, sick Robin bird brains onto them. That'll work. Robin's always telling me to go to sleep when I'm up at obscene hours. Okay, is this Izzy or Azzy? Just checking. Because Azzy uses he him, just so you know. In case you weren't fully aware. Or is Izzy someone else? Izzy might be someone else. Oh, is Izzy the mushroom person from Azzycraft? Am I just okay? Got it. Never mind. Thought we were having an issue there. Never mind. There comes a thump. That was my dramatic interpretation of a thump. Or maybe it's the right. Yeah, that's a thump. Yeah, there we are. From upstairs. Then a crash of a plate falling from a great height. Max stops dead in his tracks. When he speaks, he does so with a marked change in his tone of voice. Uh, excuse me. Uh, a moment. I'll be right back. He runs up the stairs. Okay. Okay, we're making good progress on this. You know? You usually don't chat in that crazy place. No, I don't remember the last time I spoke up there, to be honest. Anywho. Sotto Voce, or Voce, maybe? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's not a crazy place lyric, it's a crazy place. But Anywho, um, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go. Yes, I saw the Hermitcraft 10 song. It is so good. If I said I've been waiting for someone to bring it up. Hermit a day May managed to raise $4,000 and yada yada yada. Yeah, so good. I'm gonna have to go and listen to it again after this. Dang it. Let's go. Okay, let's go. He runs up the stairs after Max. Yeah, new song. Lyric, feel free to link it in the Twitch chat, by the way. Kind of busy ATM, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't on Advil's channel, is the thing. It was on the Hermit Today one. Hermit Today May, that's the one. Since yesterday, I think. Hold on. YouTube. There we are. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me. That's the one. Yeah. Anyway. So. You're welcome. 7. Int Max's flat. Day. Continuous. I have never done a continuous in a scene before, so I'm very happy I've done so now. As the doctor sneaks up the stairs, trying not to let them creak. That would certainly be a confusing one. See, that's the because I love playing with Lex. Lex is so much fun to play with, and to make stuff with. But it is difficult because he doesn't talk. Because I struggle quite a bit with carrying a conversation when there's not someone to bounce off of. Bounce off of? Bounce off. So it does make it more difficult because I'll often just like trail off. Like you've probably noticed in a lot of these streams, if there's not other people talking in chat or whatever, I will just trail off a lot because I don't have anything to say. It's the thing. So, oh, Budep. Budep. Is Patrick Budep here? No, tragically not. Okay, we'll do this scene, and then I'll leave it at that because we have reached an hour. But yeah, but yep. Excuse me, Roku. You were told to go to Sleepy Buys, so go to Sleepy Buys. Oh, bye, Lyric. Off to play with his favourite friend, Humph. Try not to let them creak. We hear the. No, you will have your sleep now, Roku, or I will end the stream immediately. Okay? I value the health of my viewers, of my audience, of my fans. Okay, of my viewers, of my audience. Ah, no! No! But no! Anyway, but you should stay here and watch this. Budap and I recently released a video. I mean, I released a video, but Budap was in it. We created the glass ceiling. No, not that one. I said I'd use that joke a lot. I'm just sticking to my promises. Actually, next this week, back to basics SMP. Oh, you gotta go. Yeah, okay. I'll probably just end the stream now. Actually, soon. No, I'll end it here. Actually, we hear the tail end of an argument between Max and many people, perhaps. And Loribus. And we shall leave it there. Okay. Bye!